Whiskey 9, 7 November, interrogative Alpha Bravo. Negative Alpha Bravo. And this is 7 November Golf. Roger, request you check your Romeo side. I'll go ahead and check my Tango side. 7 November Golf out. 7 November 8 and 8 class, 7 November, say again. 7 November, go. Roger, I copied a while ago, 1 Charlie transmission that my thing used, and 8 5, this is 7 November, Charlie. Alright, 8 5, right now. Now 1 Charlie, 7 November, go.
This is 1 Charlie, in reference to your last, you're Brandon 158 extra box start, 1200 between teams, and local. Also request your unit take inbound message to see if we can try to get Whiskey 9 and 8 for Pond to the playground.
And this is 7 November, Roger, stand by.
Got that.
Got it? Alright. And all units, this is 7 November Golf, my unit Alpha, Echo, X-ray Alpha Alpha in there.
One Charlie, Alpha Bravo.
Hey, I never took a dip. I forgot to take a dip.
Whiskey 9, 7 November, interrogative Alpha Bravo. Whiskey 9, Yankee, 7 November Golf, over. This is Whiskey 9, go. Whiskey 9, 7 November, interrogative Alpha Bravo. Whiskey 9, Yankee, 7 November Golf, over. This is Whiskey 9, go. Whiskey 9, 7 November, interrogative Alpha Bravo. Negative Alpha Bravo. And this is 7 November Golf. Roger, request you check your Romeo side. I'll go ahead and check my Tango side. 7 November Golf out. 7 November 8 and 8 class, 7 November, say again. 7 November, go.
All right, welcome to another live stream here in TheCivDiv. Ask your questions, I'll give you an answer. If there's no questions, there's no live. So let me know what you got, all right? Give it a few minutes. Let the questions roll in. If you want help with your VA claim, email us at vaclaims@ebvaclaims.com. I answer every single email. Easy peasy. Let me actually pin that in the chat too. Bam. All right, here we go. We have Humble Hatter. I see your Discord messages. I haven't opened them up yet because I need the notifications so I can read them here soon. Grace, how's it going? What's up? Is it Friday? It is Friday. Nice. Higher level review. It depends on what context you're asking, all right? But you submit an HLR. I'm a big fan of informal conferences personally. That'll get you on the phone with the decision review officer, and you're basically going to plead your case, right? What matters most is understand the basis of connection you're talking about. So if you were denied direct, the conversation you're going to have with the DRO, decision review officer, DRO, needs to be around your evidence that would suffice for the big three in that case, right? Same thing with secondary, aggravation, exposure, whatever that is. First donation of the afternoon here, Sean. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yep, and you remember, double appreciate that. Thank you. All right, Jeremiah, what's up? How's it going? Hello, Guy. I'm hoping for big things for you. Don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, please like, do all the things. I'd appreciate it. Nuclear Chicken, the mod. Yeah, no worries. No requirements for that at all. Received an increase. Congrats to you. And hold up, we have 20 gifted memberships. Thank you very much for everyone who's about to receive this gift right now from Guy Tate, which, by the way, thank you, Guy. Go to my channel. On the channel main page, a part of my links is a Discord server. Join the Discord. You can link your account. And we have Kish answering everyone's questions. So you get a VA rater to answer your questions if you become a member. Seems pretty cool to me. Thank you, Guy. Appreciate that. Fort Benning vet trying to get comp raise for contamination in prostate cancer. Depends on the evidence from whatever contaminant you're thinking of. I have no idea about Fort Bennett, but the question is, whatever the exposure is, did it cause your cancer? If that's the case, you build evidence around it and you submit the claim with evidence. Grace, yeah. And there's the Discord server. Absolutely. We have another one. Hold on. To keep rolling in. Thank you very much from Cormankind. Have you seen Guy Caleb Hammer degrading disabled veterans? It's wild how disrespectful he is to vets. Yes, I have. I did a video on that, actually. The thing is, let me just say this. So I agree with what you're saying. All right. At the same time, if you tell a civilian about VA disability, you should expect to receive a civilian response, right? Because they don't know what they don't know. So in that sense, I can't really come down on him too hard. The reason why I kind of agree with him, not in the sense that you're talking about, but veterans, people that go on his show are in financial distress. And there's veterans out there making really poor financial decisions with their VA disability compensation. Now, it's their money. They can do what they want with it. Got it. But the whole premise of his show is that people make bad financial decisions. So, like, from his perspective, his line of thought, although I disagree with it, it does make sense. I'm trying to find this for you because it is a bit wild. I have no idea. Well, it's somewhere in there. I can't find it. All right, howdy. Gone from 30 to 80 listening to you. Hey, congrats, dude. That's awesome. Don't forget, if you're looking for that extra 20, which is pretty hefty, by the way, you always have the option to reach out to us. VA Claims at EB. VAClaims.com. Don't forget. John Hughes, Big Blue Nation in the house. That's right. Go Cats, the Pope. Solid. New channel, actually. We'll give him a shout out right now. All right, let me fix my face here. Give him a shout out. VA Raider HQ After Dark, something like that. Yep, Raider HQ After Dark. New channel. This is a VA Raider who doesn't suck. Yeah, check him out. Okay, brand new to YouTube. VA Raider channel. All right. What's up with Fort Benning contamination? I mean, I don't know anything about it, to be honest with you. Nope, that's me. Gunner. How should I go about an HLR since the VA is trying to avoid back paying me 13 months long claim? So you're looking at effective dates. That's different. If you're looking to do an HLR for effective dates, slightly different there. You need to show, first you need to understand why they connected you at the date they did. And then you need to understand your evidence as to why it should be connected, in your case, 13 months prior. All right. Another donation, Coastliner, for helping veterans. Thank you, dude. Seriously, I appreciate that very much. You guys have no idea how much this YouTube stuff means to me. And you guys viewing and donating, it's just awesome. It's wild. Would a Nexus letter be considered new and relevant evidence on a previous denial? Sure, as long as you were denied. As long as the Nexus letter comes as a denial, right? So if you were denied because an examiner found whatever, gave you a Nexus that is not favorable, if you had evidence that said the opposite and it is favorable from a provider that is, I would say, higher on the scale, right? So like an MD versus a nurse practitioner would be pretty solid evidence. All right, another donation, super sticker from Nathan Jar. Jar. Thank you. I don't see any question from you, but if you have a question, put it in the chat now, and I'll be able to catch it on the back end. But appreciate that, dude. I definitely appreciate that. Okay. Any word on the proposed changes for sleep apnea, mental health, and tinnitus? No word. We know that the August advisory board was canceled. I believe that was rescheduled to September 4th. I think it was rescheduled. Early September is, for some reason, I'm like seeing that in my mind. I know I read it somewhere. Somewhere up there. And I see that, Nathan. Let me, John, congrats, dude. Congrats to you. We have another donation from VicMad. Thank you very much. All right, I see your question, Vic. Let me find Nathan's first, and then I'll get down to yours, and then I'll get back to where we were at in the list. Where is Nathan's question? Nathan, where you be? I see nothing, dude. If you can paste it down at the bottom, that would be easier for me, and I can grab it. But I don't see your question, Nathan. You can see this one, but I don't see your question. Okay, VicMad says how the VA can rate things like hips and back problems if they do not do x-rays, MRI, etc. The only opinion is one from my doctor. Well, a report of pain is, I'm going to use this very widely general here, so don't take this as gospel. But a report of pain, having pain, that's rateable. All right. And if your range of motion has obviously decreased, if your nerves in your legs aren't working as they should, like whenever they take the rubber hammer and hit your knee and it doesn't do anything, right? It's supposed to do this. Psh, psh. Doesn't do anything. That's obvious. And so for VA rating purposes, you can get a rating that way. And I'm saying that very broadly. Just keep that in mind there. Okay, Nathan, I see you now. All right. Going for neck increase, 10%, back increase, 20, have lower radiculopathy, 10 per leg sciatica, just diagnosed with upper. CT scan shows issue. Is this an easy claim? Fairly so, yes. I would like to know if your back is at 20. I'm going to assume it's at 10 and you want it at 20, or if it's at 20 and you want it at 40. Either way, I'm generally reluctant to advise veterans on increases on their lower spine if they have radiculopathy at 20, 10, 10, because that's a solid rating, okay? And depending on how your back is, like if you think you would rate 40% for your back and then 20 each leg, obviously that's going to be pretty cool. But just know that your claim's on the table now as well. Same thing for your neck. Neck at 10% is fairly common, all right? It's not too common to see a 30% for your neck. It is common to see radiculopathy in each limb stemming from your cervical and lumbar spine. So is it an easy claim? The answer is yes. You have the evidence there. I wouldn't sweat that at all. All right. And Sean Bondi just says boom. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Sean. I appreciate everyone. Seriously. Thank you very much. This is one of my friends. Is it possible that my Fromunda cheeseitis is service connected? For you, it could be. It could be. Sure. All right. Another donation. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. It says, no question. Want to let you and your community know what a difference you're making. Thank you. Seriously. I'm a little tired right now, so I might not be too animated. I have a lot of work stuff going on. I appreciate that. All right. You have and continue to change my life, my husband's and my son's future. That's awesome. All right. Shout out to Kishkin as well. Kish is a recently retired VA rater. He's one of our claim coaches. All right. And so I'll tell you what, if you want a VA rater to be your coach, email us right now. I need you to type in Kish somewhere in the email in the subject line. In the email itself, I'll catch it. And if you go through with their service, Kish will be your coach, right? So you can get a VA rater as your coach. If you're watching this right now, we can do that. And I'll tell you straight up, right? If you're not serious about your VA rating, don't email us. I do not have time for that. I'm extremely busy. Only if you're serious about it. Very, very cheap, upfront, one-time flat fee. That's how we roll. All right. We don't have time for anything else. But Marcella, thank you very much for sharing that. And shout out to Kish as well. He's awesome. All right. Eric Tidwell. Thank you. Dude, we are coming in hot today. Man. Appreciate it. Yeah. Just got 80%. But have 6 deferred claims. Anything I should be doing for those? Not really. If you already submitted your evidence for those claims, if you have new evidence, I would push that today. Like I would stop this live and go submit that evidence right now. But no, 6 deferred claims. That's normal. All right. I assume it was a buttload probably. And so the VA granted a decision. They couldn't grant these. And so instead of you waiting, they went ahead and issued a decision. They are Terra deferred. That kind of changes things a little bit. Terra, especially if like, let's say you went direct and that was going to be denied, but they wanted to do a Terra basis. That's not really like the best news ever. I wouldn't, like a good way to communicate it right now is I wouldn't count on any Terra claims personally. If you do get granted, that's great. That's awesome. Usual time frame for these. No one can give you a time frame at all for any type of claim, for any basis of connection, for any appeal, increase, doesn't matter. No one can give you an accurate timeline, right? But 80%, 6 deferred claims, you're in good shape. You're in good shape. VA disability wise, maybe not health wise, right? Okay, let's get back to where I was at. There was a comment I really wanted to read. All right, thank you for presenting us with all this knowledge. I appreciate that. All right. My camera angle is different today, and I don't know. I mean, I know why, because I set it up that way. I didn't mean to set it up that way. So I need to make some changes here because it's bothering the poop out of me. I'm just going to have to deal with it. All right. I see both of those. I'll get to that in a second. All right. With this knowledge, do you believe the VA ripping up the collective bargaining agreement with the union that just happened? I was reading about that this morning, and personnel who work for the VA will impact us veterans. I don't think the agreement itself will. I think further down the road, it has a very big potential to affect veteran healthcare and veteran benefits. Okay. Now, I'm no union expert at all. I honestly don't understand it, so I'm kind of cautious to give you my opinion on that. But I do think it will have an impact later on down the road. But like dismantling this right now doesn't matter. At least for right here, right now. Future-wise, could be a different story. Okay, let's go with, we got Eric's. Thank you very much, Eric. Sean, again, 2-time. Appreciate that. Just got my DBQ back from a CMP exam with favorable for insomnia. Is it favorable for 10% in the I want to know if that insomnia is secondary, because that changes the answer, or if it's direct. Is it favorable for a 10% rating in the interpretation? Do you think it will hit? It depends. Like if you're going direct, I would look at, I think it's section 3. So on the DBQ, there's a section, it's about yay big. It has some bubbles that need to be filled in and an explanation of which bubble it is. That's basically 38 CFR rating criteria right there on what percentage you're going to get. So I would check that out. But again, if it's secondary, then it's going to be roped into that primary, right? Like insomnia secondary to tinnitus, service connected would read like this: tinnitus with insomnia at 10%. So it just depends there. One man's burden. Thank you very much with a $20 donation. I appreciate that. Yeah, if it's secondary for sleep apnea, then it's going to be roped in with that rating, right? So if it's 50%, you're going to have sleep apnea with insomnia, which I do find a little weird. All right. And then Nathan had a follow-up question. I'll get to that, Nathan, especially because he donated for sure. Let me just get to that real quick so I don't leave you hanging. All right, backs next at 10, backs at 20, but my most recent CT scan shows cervical stenosis, spondylitis. That's all great. So you're gonna have 30 different diagnoses in your neck. The neck's gonna be rated with 1 rating. So based on this comment, it seems like you're gonna get an increase for your neck, but it comes down to your range of motion. Okay, and then the nerve damage in each limb, in your case, depends. Yep, and Greg is gracious enough to give us the M21 code there for that. Okay, let's go back to where we were. There's a comment I want to read. Boom. All right. What more could the VA need when you get deferred for mental health if you think they have everything? First off, the answer to this question is a billion different answers. Okay. When you submit a claim, let's say you submit 10 claims. All right. They're being worked on. 6 are ready. The other 4, the rater just couldn't do it in time for whatever reason. Okay. Maybe you needed more exams, whatever. Something's happening. They can't make a decision. Instead of holding all of the claims, they'll grant the 6 that you have. In this case, this example, the 4 will be deferred. Does not mean anything else. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just the VA not holding all your claims. That's all it is. We have Bobby D's. Says, hey, Clay, that's a nice Darth Maul you got over there. Yes. Look at this thing. Someone sent me this, Bobby D's. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. The hood comes off here. Okay. Comes off. You can take it off this thing. I love Darth Maul. Thank you, Bobby D's. I appreciate that. I have the note. I don't know if you can see the note there. That's the note. It's from Crafts Made by Cat, small business owner. Appreciate that. You can go to Crafts Made by Cat with a K, .square.side. Okay. Yes, I do love me some Darth Maul. That thing's awesome. I appreciate it. All right. We have a gift. Pie High Marine. Thank you very much, Pie High. Whoever gets that, Pond got it. Make sure you link your Discord account with your YouTube account. You get member access. Members can. It's essentially a live Q&A, just through a message board. Okay, so good tool. There, good use. If you have a claim pending, would I put in another that has been denied? Wait till I get rated. At a minimum, you want to have your intent to file ready to go no matter what. So the answer to the question is almost irrelevant, whether you wait or not, because the intent to file would backdate it. Me personally, I would gather all my evidence, and when my evidence is ready, that tells me if I'm going to submit that claim. Right? There's not really any other factors involved into me not submitting my claim. It's just when I have my evidence. That's what I would recommend, at least. Evidence is king. Little K there. All right. What's the status of Fort Benning contamination? Ain't no status on that. Was diagnosed with hemorrhoids in Kuwait. Do I need any current diagnosis for a claim? Blanketly, the answer is yes, and that should be the answer. Hemorrhoids are slightly weird, and you're likely going to get a 0% rating anyways, right? I don't know what like a chronic hemorrhoid condition is. I assume that exists. I assume that sucks too, right? But if there's no disabling effects and your hemorrhoids are gone or they've been removed, then they've been removed, right? I mean, there's a scar there, maybe. Just depends. Sean, thank you. Thank you for donating as well. Appreciate that. All right, hold the phone. We have another donation, a second one from Pie High. Thank you very much. Pay it forward, vets, from your friendly neighborhood atheist Marine. That's funny. Thank you, Pie High. I appreciate that. I will tell you what these, like if you're curious, it is weird seeing money on YouTube, right? And then ad revenue and a few other things. I'm going to share with you what I do. Okay. YouTube's not my full-time job. I do it full-time. I just work a lot. I'm actually a youth pastor. Well, the position is teen resident because I'm in school still. I finished school in 6 weeks, by the way. Cannot wait. That's what I do. Okay, so you can see how that comment is a little weird to me, but it's funny, dude. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I spend a lot of time investing in high school students. That's my passion. So in case if you're wondering what YouTube allows me to do, it allows me to be in ministry. That's it. Thank you, Pi High. I appreciate that, dude. I cannot wait to finish school. 6 weeks, dude. It's killing me. I'm on my capstone class. It's actually hard. It's a master's in youth ministry. So, okay. Got a claim going for at least 7 different issues. All right. Some new, some for an increase. Okay. But only one CMP exam appointment scheduled. It could be like if it's a gen med appointment, that's normal, right? Like knees, back, feet, shoulders, wrists, all of those can be the same. They usually are gen med stuff. Should expect all of those issues to be discussed in one appointment. Depends on what they are. Like if it's like mental health and you have some musculoskeletal, obviously there's going to be 2 different exams. But you should get something in the mail that tells you what you're going to discuss. You can see what type of specialty they are. And then from there, kind of parse out, oh, you are, this is your specialty area. We're going to discuss knees, back, shoulders, right? So it just depends on what your claims are for. Secondary conditions to PTSD. I'll answer that. I'm going to come back to it. We have another donation just popped up. Gerald Davis, thank you very much. Aloha. Same to you. Watching from Hawaii, that's awesome. Hawaii is expensive. I was there on a work trip last year. Very, very expensive. The government paid for it because that was way too much. I wanted to say thank you for your platform. Thank you, dude. Appreciate that. Watched you since the beginning of your advice. With the InfoCap KMD, I finally got my 100%. Hey, congrats on 100% on the 17th, right? Congrats, dude. That's awesome to hear. It makes me really excited to see veterans reach 100%. So that's cool, dude. All right, secondary conditions. Let me show you something. Let's go. Well, let me log in first because it's in my email. It's in my drive. Oh. Common secondary list. Pull this up. Okay, we're safe. I didn't want to share like my email with everyone. We can take this off. Common secondaries. Yes, I will link this in the chat below. Let me do that now, actually. Common secondary list. There we go. It's a Google Doc. You can download it. You can have it forever. It's by system. So ankle, ear. The question is for PTSD. So that's what I'm going to show you, which is right here. Sleep apnea, most common. When this sleep apnea change happens, that's going away. I can tell you right now, people aren't even going to take the time to pursue that. GERD, IBS, especially on the anxiety side of the house. Hypertension, same thing, anxiety, stress. Migraines, big secondary there for mental health. ED and FSAD, SMCKs, obviously. Depending on how bad your stress and anxiety is, you can absolutely develop very serious conditions, okay? All of these are serious. Don't get me wrong. And obesity, alcohol use disorder as intermediate steps there. And then bruxisms, which is essentially roped in with PTSD anyways. So those are the most common. All right. You can see some notes down here. There's American Medical Experts, Dr. Sharma down there. This resource kind of is a catch-all. a very quick, hey, what are some common secondaries? There you go. Hope I answered your question. Okay, we have some more donations. This is wild, dude. Antioch Aldo. One of two, okay? And I see your second one. Don't worry about that. I'll answer that. Hey, Clay, I filed for an increase for PTSD on August 4th. Awesome. By August 7th, I was already at step 5. Is this an indication that maybe a CMP exam? And then your second comment says, won't be scheduled. I did file with a private DBQ and personal statement. Yeah, very fast. I have seen many, not just one or two, many mental health increases with a private DBQ. 7 days, 8 days. I'm serious about that. All those were from Dr. Sharma, if you're curious. And how I know that is because veterans will email us both and say, hey, here's what happened. Thank you so much. This is awesome. So he's a solid resource there for you. If you're looking at increase, DPQ is the way to go, especially for mental health, because you have that option to do online appointments, telehealth appointments. I couldn't think for a second there. All right. Can you use an old DBQ? So the VA would already have that. I assume you mean completed by an examiner. And that's depending on what we're talking about, how old we're talking about. All evidence is evidence. Okay. So it just depends on what you would want to use that for anyways. Received a letter with increase. So ITF from November. How do I figure the back pay from 40% to 70 combined rating? Hold on, I dropped something. Okay. I got a Jesus toy here. I use as a fidget. 70 is your combined. You got 40. So let's just say it was 50%. Right? So you were at 50 in November of 24. You did this claim. Now you're at 70%. You're going to take the difference from January 1st. Is it January 1st? December 1st, excuse me. December 1st. So December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Not August. We're in August right now. Should have 8 months, potentially 7 there, of the difference from 50 to 70. And that's your back pay. That's my quick math. Billy. Yes. This guy right here, Billy, who's also one of our claim coaches and a mod, sent me a bag of these. Is it going to focus? No, it's not. He's just sent it to Pi High. That's funny. Awesome. Big B, longtime fan. I miss seeing these donations of $17.75. Thank you very much, dude. Simplify to you. All right. I'm having a good... My day started off a little sketchy. I'm having a good day right now. Thank you for cheering me up. Should I also go for IBS with that claim? I don't even know what you're talking about, but the answer is, this is the answer. Should you claim this condition? Yes or no? Don't care what it is or what type of claim it is. Here's the answer. Do you have the evidence? And does your evidence reflect service connection? If that answer is yes, and I don't care what it's to, then you submit the claim. That's it. Not ICA or not CIA. For some reason, I said not Nautica, not CIA. That's a hilarious name for the internet. Bro, I watched a lot of videos and I got rewarded 100% PNT last month. That's awesome, dude. I hope you watched a lot of my videos, and I hope that was a part of your journey in making that possible. And I hope that relieves some financial stress on your life, dude. Congrats. Don't forget your state benefits. State benefits are amazing. Don't forget Chapter 35 for your dependents. That's a good source there. So congrats, dude. Just want to thank you, Clay. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you for being a member. For all your knowledge. Was just awarded 100% PNT. Okay, first off, I don't choose these comments. I just do them in order, okay? And it's awesome to see how many people are being awarded 100% PNT. For PTSD increase, also want to thank Dr. Sharma for helping me out as well. He's a good dude, right? He has a wait list. If time's not on your side, definitely look at American medical experts. They're just as good, okay? But for mental health conditions, and if you have time to burn, Dr. Sharma is awesome. So there's two sources there you can use. One's quick, one's not so quick. Tracy M., I'm concerned about this part of HLR. Authority of HLR. I mean, I don't memorize that. What is that, an M21 code there? Why would you be concerned? I mean, your evidence for your claim is either tight and you can walk the dog, show the DRO what that looks like, or it's not, or there's a process failure in your claim and it'll get kicked back. I mean, it just depends on what we're talking about here. And you can see in the chat at the new live feed, tons of people are getting 100% PNT. Thank you, Big B, Richard Sloan. I see all of you. That's awesome. All right, Sherry, stationed at Fort Jackson for basic and AIT. Can you tell me about PTA's contamination there, please? I can't. I don't know it well enough. What I do know is that if you have any condition from exposure or from anything from your military service, get the evidence, line the evidence up, submit the claim. That's what I can tell you, but I just don't know Fort Jackson well enough to talk about that. Camp Lejeune, I can a little bit, but not Benning, not Jackson, not any of those. It would be out of pocket if I did. Yep, happy Friday. Friday. All right. My father just passed away and he wasn't service connected. I'm sorry to hear about that. He got out in 87. He had back surgery while in, but his cause was blood trauma to the torso since he fell. Whoa. So you're already fighting a really steep uphill battle. But what I would do in your case is look at an accredited VSL. That's exactly what I would do. Look at DIC and look at claims post-death, which I don't like saying that, obviously. But it's going to be difficult, right? One, the cause of death or related cause of death, if that's something that would have been connected via service, the answer is yes, but it is a long uphill battle. Lori, another mod. We got all the coaches here. Another coach that we have. Appreciate that. All right, just got my DBQ back from an examiner. Oh, we answered that one. Did you talk the raider into making a YouTube channel? I did not. I definitely support them doing that, though, but I did not talk them into it at all. I didn't even know it existed. It is someone posted in our Discord server about it, and that's how I found it. So I wasn't even made aware. But I'm definitely a big supporter of it. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's cool to have like that type of insight too, you know? It's a hilarious name. Good morning to you. Doc Hewitt. Has anyone else tried calling your local VA for an appointment and get to run around for hours or days without? What I would do, all right, is use the secure messaging system. The VA got that right. Okay. Send a secure message to your healthcare team. That's what I would do. You will see movement if you use that for sure. HVAC Mike recently won a claim back in June. Back pay was only to the date I filed instead of my intent to file. HLR, hopefully it doesn't take as long as the claim took. Well, the word on the street is the VA is moving very, very fast right now. So it could be pretty quick. What a nice guy that guy is. That's funny. U.S. born and bred. Exactly how you typed in that question is how you ask it. Is it? That's how you do it. You also want to, because you're a member, link your account in Discord, and you can just ask a question there. That'll be much faster. Enjoyed and watched all your hundreds of videos throughout the years. Thank you very much. Okay. Watching. You guys have no idea what this channel it does for my family and then allows me to do in the ministry field. So I definitely appreciate that. The knowledge gained finally got me to 100% P&T. Congrats. All right. 35 years after discharge. That's awesome, dude. 35 years later, you're 100% P&T. That's awesome to hear. It's amazing. It sucks. It took a while. Good to hear. Filing 95 claim for compensation against community care for violating multiple federal laws. Yikes. Email me that story. Rated for sleep apnea. I'm 100% NCVA medical on WeGovy, dropping pounds. If my apnea becomes fixed, do I disclose that to the VA or do I wait for them to catch it? I'm questioning the assumption of your apnea being fixed by losing weight. I don't think that's how it works, even if it's a major contributor cause, right? But no, you don't have to disclose that to the VA. Your use of a CPAP may decrease. How do we remove Doug Collins from his position? You can't be asking me these questions here on YouTube here. You're crazy. I'm getting a ton of emails. If you've emailed me, I will answer all of these by today. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. If you want help, I have a ton. There's at least 100 here. That's awesome. Thank you for doing that. If you want help on your VA claim, let me backtrack. If you're serious about your VA claim, email vaclaims@ebvaclaims.com. If you're not serious, just don't email me. It'll make my life easier. All right. I need to file to connect my lifetime to my 17 months. Make sure your evidence is in line. Make sure your evidence is in line. That goes for any claim. Many thanks for all you do. Good luck to both you and Jason. Hey, thank you. Appreciate that. Congrats to you. I have documents, complaints of snoring and sleep problems from active duty. I have 2 sleep apnea diagnoses from CMP exams as well as just issued CPAP recently. Currently have supplemental claim. Will I win? That's hard. You have sleep disturbances in service. You have snoring, complaints of snoring, documented complaints of snoring in service. For sleep apnea, generally, that's you want a diagnosis directly from service. That would be awesome. But you don't. Will I win your claim? I think it's favorable for you to win the supplemental. I'm curious as to your competing evidence. Those are like my main question. Is there any evidence that an examiner can use against you to deny your nexus? That's what I'm thinking of. If the answer is not much, then I do think you'll win your claim. Caleb Hammer is just seeing a pattern of people looking way too okay for a permanent disability check. Hey, you're right. Teddy. Hey, Clay, I was denied my right ankle on direct basis, but it wasn't considered secondary to my left ankle. I would ask if you had evidence to suggest the secondary or indicate the secondary before I answered HLR or supplemental. Do you need a nexus letter? You're definitely in that territory. You're in that territory to consider that. All right. That would be on the supplemental side. It just depends on what your evidence suggests. And I would look at competing evidence. Is there any evidence of your right ankle being hurt in service? I mean, obviously not being hurt on the job somewhere else. Like, do you have any competing medical evidence that would indicate your right ankle is not connected to your left ankle? Depending on those answers, supplemental is probably what I would recommend. Ionizing radiation for just being stationed at nuclear submarine for the PACT Act. There's a definitely, yeah. Dude. I see you, Kish. Anytime I am sick, dude, my sinuses, which I totally can attribute to my time in Afghanistan and Syria, are jacked up. Okay. Did you ever find an editor for your show? I don't really do edits. Not really a big edit person. How long should I wait for an in-person appeal to get scheduled before using options like contacting my congressman? Yeah, I think you're talking about the Board of Veteran Appeals. I'm not going to tell you not to contact your congressman because that's your right to do that. But I will say the board moves at a snail's pace. Snail pace. Zero indications of them working faster, by the way. Hey. What? Can I call you back in 10 minutes? Look what I'm doing. Look what I'm doing. Look. I'm working right now. Can I call you back? 10 minutes. I'll call you back, okay? All right. It's my 7-year-old. How do you research cases? One, there's a few ways to do that. VeteranAI is one way. That's what I would suggest. So hop over to VeteranAI and you're able to do that. Going for a neck increase. Oh, we answered that one. What's up? I see you're more proficient at OBS now. I'm using StreamYard. Man, if you're mentioning OBS, that means you're an OG fan of the channel. Thank you, James Bell. Appreciate that. I haven't used OBS since I first started, which was like in 22. I use StreamYard it's way, for the streaming that I do, it's a lot easier. We have a donation. Thank you very much. Hialeah Refugee. I know I pronounced that incorrectly. I apologize. Want to say thank you. Received my 100% on August 5th. Congrats, dude. Or dudette. That's awesome. After 2 years of filing, I've been listening to you the entire time. And I'm in the 4100 club now. Thank you. Thank you, dude. Thank you for sharing that. I'm glad I was able to be a part of that process and journey for you. And I hope that rating relieves some of that financial burden off your shoulders, you know? CivDiv is civilian division. In the Marine Corps, you know, you're in first MARDIV or second MARDIV. There's third MARDIV, but who cares about them? And you never really leave the Marine Corps. You just get out and you join CivDiv, right? Civilian division. So first MARDIV is Marine Division. That's what it stems from. If I went back, I would have changed my name, but I'm way too deep now to change it. You had a video a while back about secondary over active bladder to blood pressure medication, like urinary frequency. Very, very common. He was denied. What additional evidence should he get since the high blood pressure and meds are connected? If he's on, whoever we're talking about, all right, if they're on diuretics and their hypertension is connected, even at 0%, and they're on diuretics, which I think is what you're talking about, okay? What I would do is take that evidence. You can even do a P log, like a migraine log, but for urination, like a log for that if you wanted to, and speak to your provider, get that evidence in stone, so to speak, and then do a supplemental appeal. With this comment alone, that would be my recommendation. I am surprised to see a diuretic secondary, though. Right? Like, I'm assuming the hypertension is service connected. I'm assuming you're taking a diuretic in the first place. Not all hypertensive medication causes you to use the restroom. So it just depends on, I definitely hear you, Kish. It just depends on like what we're talking about. But based on this comment alone, okay, I would get more evidence, get a diagnosis, do a log, submit supplemental. Not a big Louisville fan, big Kentucky fan, though. All right, I'm going to wrap this up here. Because I got to FaceTime my daughter. If I don't, I get in trouble. So I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you very much for being on the live. I appreciate that. Thank you to everyone who donated. That's every time I do this, it's insane. This allows me to provide for my family, work in ministry, which is just insane. It's like a dream come true. All right. So I appreciate every single one of you for watching the live. I just posted a video about the fastest way to 100%. Give that a peek. If you need help with your VA claim, email us vaclaims@ebvaclaims.com, or you can just visit the website at ebvaclaims.com there. And yeah, that's all I got. Thank you very much.